Okay folks, we made it home with the 36 Plymouth, and she's rough. Frame is rusted from here all the way forward on this side, and back on the other side on the far corner is rusted. Rear end's kicked around, but so anyway, but we did get it here. Hinges broke on the doors, or rusted, fell off. But it's rough. But a couple good things about it. Headlights are nice, which would make really nice headlights for a roadster, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But front axle is a round tube drop axle, which is really good. And the seats are A-body GM 1967 or earlier, which makes them, the value on them right now, in the condition they're in, is about $600 for the pair. And that's not too bad. And there's other good parts on it. Doors, and you can see where the frame is pretty much stops right there. It's missing where it's just rusted away, but we're lucky to get it home almost in one piece anyway. But you know, I'll let everybody leave their opinions on this, but well, let me put it this way. You know, with the seats, with the headlights, the round tube drop axle, you know, buying it for what I bought it for, I'm not going to lose my, you know, butt on this car. It also has a 1949 Plymouth front bumper, which is, you know, a popular rat rod bumper, hot rod bumper. Actually hot rod bumper, but it's the only bumper that was ribbed. So anyway, I had some people come by that's opening a restaurant here local that, you know, I talked to somebody and heard that I had done some benches and stuff like that, some, you know, automotive art, I guess they call it. I say weld and junk together, but anyway, they're looking for a front end. Now, I don't know if I want to do this or not. I'm kind of up in the air over this as to whether to cut this off to make it go up against the wall and just clean it up a little bit and put a little clearer on it. They're wanting something rough like this. Make good money off doing it, don't get me wrong, but do I want to do it? I know the car's rough, but I've put together a lot worse than this. I do have a buddy that I called about this car. He's going to come look at it. Hopefully he'll want it the way it is without the seats in it, and I can sell the seats, and then he can get the rest of the car and we can all live happy. But anyway, you can let me know your opinions on whether, you know, to cut it off or not. You know, I'm on the fence about it because, you know, the car wouldn't be put back together, but then the front end would be saved and people would be able to see it. You know, almost as if it was on the car and driving around. So, I don't know. You know, it's one of them deals that could go either way. So anyway, 46 Plymouth. It does have the original 6 in it. I can't get the hood open. I look from the bottom side. It's got an air conditioning compressor and condenser and everything on it, so someone's added air conditioning. It's got a hood cable. It's stuck. I'll have to figure out and get the hood open. We're going to be doing a first start on that one before too long. The 4950 Chevrolet, missing a lot of parts on the engine. The engine's stuck. I couldn't turn it, so we probably won't be doing a first start on it. I do have the mounts to put a small block Chevrolet in this, and cross member and everything. Your rear end have to be changed because it's got a torque tube, but I've got plenty of that stuff. 42 or 46 Chevrolet, original 6-cylinder. It's not stuck. I think we can start it. The tack, or what we thought was the tack inside, is not a tack. Okay, so we thought this was a tack, but it's actually a vacuum gauge. And they used this in the mid-60s, early mid-60s, but anyway, it would have mounted originally on the console. So we'll get that out and clean it up and see if maybe we can stick that on the old 31 or something. But I'm assuming this was a business coupe too. There was no back seat, so yes, it was. So anyway, we'll do a first start on this one, see if we can get it running, see if we can get some wheels and tires on it. The front's 5-lug, the rear 6-lug, so somebody has changed the front drums and stuff on it to a little later model, but shouldn't be an issue. For now, we'll go ahead and get some tires on stuff. That's what I'm sort of shooting for, is to try to get wheels and tires on this stuff and get it off the ground. So anyway, we're going to go back over. We got the Plymouth here. I'm probably going to go ahead and take the chainsaw and cut the tree down, try to get the Oldsmobile out and either load it up or load the boat up and bring it back. And I'll show you what the deal is with the big aluminum boat. Okay, most of y'all remember this boat. This is my catfish boat that I put together. This is a 1965 Lone Star, 18 foot. So the plan is there's a Starcraft over there, aluminum, that is about 18 foot. I think it's about the same as this one. A little deeper. It's got a cabin in it. And my wife, when we go to the river, especially when it starts getting toward the fall, early spring, you know, it's about 20 degrees colder at the river than it is off the river. So I think what we're going to do is work on that boat and maybe paint it and do some interior work and stuff in it and make it into a catfishing boat with a cabin. So we'll have a place to go in and keep warm, and if it starts raining and stuff like that. And then it's going to open us up to being able to fish a little more than usual, because sometimes we don't go because it's too cold. So that will make it nice. So, but anyway, I'll show you that boat when we get there. Boy, there's a lot of critters that live around here. You don't see too many of them, but after you leave and you come back, you see a lot of tracks. So I've seen deer tracks, either dog or coyote tracks, and definitely a bunch of bobcat tracks. Seems like the bobcat comes in and walks everywhere that I walked about every day. Go back to your feet print and you can see where he's come check you out. He's living around here somewhere. So anyway, I've got the chainsaw. I'll show you why. Just a second here. Alright. This is the last car for me. For now, anyway. And as you can see, this tree has grown up around the door. It's actually bent the door in as it grew. And I'm afraid if I hook to it with the skid steer and try to pull it out of there, I'm going to have issues. And I can see now it's leaning that way hard. All the limbs are on the far side, so it's going to be a pain. I'll probably try to cut it up high first and get it down, and then we'll cut the rest away. But if I hook the chain to it and pull the skid steer, I'm going to do nothing but tear the rocker up on this side. And I don't know how bad this thing is. It's rough on this side, I see that, but you never know. I know roof issues where it's rained in it, and I don't know, dents where trees fell on it, but you know, we still want to be as careful as we can be with them, and not tear them all to pieces anyway. So, all right, let me get at it. Well, I cut some. I was going to see if I could manhandle it back this way, but there's no way. And I don't want to cut it all the way through. So what I'll do is I'll get the skid steer and hook to it, and then I'll pull it over and finish cutting it. So the last thing I want to do is lay it on the car. Yeah, that bobcat, I don't know if you can see the tracks or not, has walked everywhere. It could be living in this hole right here under this tree stump. You never know. So anyway, they don't seem to want to bother you too much. I was hunting up in West Virginia one time and ran into one, and I was pretty young, and I'm not quite sure who was scareder, me or the bobcat, because the bobcat jumped about 4 feet off the ground and screamed like a little baby and ran. And I know my heart probably jumped that far, but anyway, all right. hurt it. No, it was already there. We did put a little scratch, but we didn't even hurt it. It didn't really hurt a thing. So we can get these cut out of the way, and then we got to cut that one off again. Looks like a popular trick. Green like that. Alright. Alright, so I got most of these things. Most of these lines and stuff out of the way. Fixing to hopefully pull this tree the rest of the way out. Well, I see why I couldn't get it cut all the way now. It had a root going up under the car. But we did get it. Here's our trim. Put it inside. Yeah, the tree definitely done some damage over the years. Just hope it didn't grow on top of the frame. The root. Boil water. Alright, let me fire that chainsaw back up. See if we can cut some of this stuff out. Okay, so I was able to get the fender skirt off. Looks like some undercoating came off. Anyway. Alright. Let me see if I can get hooked to it and see what happens. Well, it don't look like I'm going to get it today. My fuel filter started clogging up on my skid steer. Some of you may have remembered the skid steer, but it's like a 1975 model case. That was a gas engine, and it had so much crud inside the floor that it rusted holes in the oil pan and was rusty. And I took that thing apart and put a 188 diesel out of a 580K backhoe and all that in it. But I've worked a lot on the tanks. I've flushed them and everything else, but I can't get them as clean as I'd like. At first it was every 30 minutes, and now it looks like it's maybe once a day if you run it, you know, 6 to 8 hours, something like that. So I have definitely got to put a fuel filter on it. It started acting funny, so I knew what it was, so I just called it quits. So it will probably be tomorrow before I'm able to make it back with filter and everything. So this will be fine where it's at. Don't think nobody's gonna steal it. So we're gonna go load the boat up. I'll show you the boat. Okay, so now I think we're gonna load the boat up. Since I can't get the Oldsmobile out. And let me see. I pulled it here with skid steer loader. The tongues broke off. There was a welded spot around it and it broke. And it's been welded on everywhere on that trailer. The trailer's shot. But I want to leave it on there long enough to get it home. So I don't know whether to drag it out or to try to get in here. I can probably get in here. Maybe load it up. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so this is 18 feet, which is just like my other one, except it does have a short cabin in there, and it's open farther toward the front. I don't think it's much deeper or anything. It's built a lot like it. This is a Starcraft and the other's a Lone Star, made in Texas. So let's see if we can get her up on there. Okay folks, we're trying to get loaded up here. I'm kind of crooked, so I'm going to snatch block the nose this way so we can get the axle over that way. So we're not worried about where the tongue's at right now, or the front. We're worried about where that axle is going to come onto the bed at. We don't want it over the side like that. So, all right, let me run the snatch block. Got her on there. Didn't go much farther. So we're going to strap this thing really well. We got the engine strapped back. Now the transom board's no good, which we're not, you know, that's to be expected. No big deal. The other boat, I had to actually replace some of the aluminum on it. I think all the aluminum's good on this one. This one's actually a little better. The good thing about a boat, a lot easier than trying to restore a car. It don't take nearly as long to do a boat up. See a few little things. I don't know why there's a boat sticking through there. Shouldn't be. But it looks to be in really good shape. I just sort of back over a tree here. Yeah, no issues with it. It needs a little repair right there. Somebody probably done that loading it one time, hit something or some way, but shouldn't be an issue at all. So we're gonna get it strapped down and out of here. Yeah, she seems to hold water good. The plug wasn't in it, it was just plugged up with dirt again. We've been trying to drain it. It's got 150 horse mercury on it. I'm not familiar with mercury, never worked on one. I don't believe. Worked on a lot of Evinrudes and Johnsons, and weird brands, but not much for mercury anyway. We'll figure it out, see if it's worth using or not. All right, I got 2 straps on. I got 1 more to get on. These are 5,400 pound straps. So get 1 more right here in the middle. I think we'll be all right. Okay, so we've got 3 5,400 pound straps on it, and we've got the treader chain down, front and rear. Waiting on some water to come out. We can get out of here. Alright, so we can get out of this place. There's so muddy up here that I can't get through if I go down low, so I gotta go through this way over these little tiny trees and make a turn up here that's hard to make. You can see the mud over there. And my fuel filter's clogged up on the skid steer, so if I get stuck, I'm in a bad spot. Alright. I can make this turn right here. This is the hard part. Aha. Made it. Uphill. Looking up this hill here, spinning a little bit. Oh yeah. Spinning, but we're making it. Now you see why I strapped the boat down so good. Oh, we got a limb right here. Let's go. I don't want to take the top off the boat. Oh, we just cleared it. Just cleared it. All right. Oh, look, ain't it special? We get to meet for the first time. All right. Anyway, more barn finds and more dragging out cars coming up soon. We'll go get that other one tomorrow and I'll do some video on it, but till then, appreciate everybody watching. Bye.